Imagery suggests second launch attempt of Iranian satellite. Two satellite imagery companies have released photos that suggest Iran has attempted a second launch of a satellite after the failure of another blast in January. The images, released early on February 7th, show a rocket at the Imam Khomeini Space Center in Iran's Semnan province on February 5th. Images from the next day showed the rocket was gone, with what appears to be burn marks on its launch pad. The images were released by Colorado-based DigitalGlobe and San Francisco-based Planet. The images showed words written in Persian in large characters, including the phrase 40 years and Iranian made. Iran is this month celebrating the 40th anniversary of its Islamic Revolution. US will not renew Iran sanctions waivers in May. US Special Representative for Iran, Brian Hook, says Washington has no plan to extend waivers when the exemptions expire in May. The top State Department official reiterated, Iran's oil customers should not expect new waivers to US sanctions in May. While visiting Japan, which has just restarted buying Iranian crude, Brian Hook said, the November waivers were designed to prevent a spike in oil prices, and it appears that there will be enough oil supply to satisfy demand this year. In an interview with Japanese public broadcaster NHK, which was published on Tuesday, February 6th, Hook insisted, we are not looking to grant any future waivers or exceptions to our sanctions regime, whether it is oil or anything else, adding that the US aims to get to zero imports on Iranian crude as soon as possible. Panel to examine prospects of change in Iran 40 years after clerical rule began. On Monday, February 11th, the US Representative Office of the National Council of Resistance of Iran invites you to attend a panel on the regime's long and brutal domestic and foreign policy at home and abroad. Suna Samsami, the NCRI representative in the United States, will provide a perspective on the current situation in Iran, the impact of a firm policy and imposition of sanctions a year after the nationwide uprising began in the country, the prospects for change in Iran, and policy options for 2019. Iran State TV, gunman kills cop, blows up fuel tanker in Iran. Iran State TV says gunmen have killed a policeman and wounded a police officer in a shootout in which a stray bullet hit a fuel tanker, causing it to explode. It said Wednesday that the shootout erupted near a gas station in the western province of Luristan. It says the explosion shattered the windows of a nearby building. Iran. More than 3 protests were organized on February 6th. More than 3 protests were organized across the country on February 6, 2019. The customers of Sapia, an automaker in Tehran, the shareholders of Caspian Financial Institution in Kermanshah, and the members of the Control Sazer Zayanarud company, who are applicants of the Mer Affordable Housing Project in Faladshah in Isfahan, have held separate protests to request their demands.